everybody, my name is Quinn and welcome to my channel. So today I thought I would start a new segment on my channel which I'm going to call Let's Talk, where it's basically where I just talk to you about different book related topics. Now this is separate from book hauls and book reviews and tag videos, but I just thought it would be a cool platform to talk about different book related topics that aren't necessarily bound to one specific tag video. So today my first Let's Talk video is going to be on rereading books. Now I was kind of inspired to do this after I watched someone's video on BookTube and having heard them say that they never reread books. Now to each their own, you're allowed to have your own opinion, but I personally love rereading books and I don't do it enough. I used to reread books a lot in middle school and probably the first 2 years of high school before I got a job and activities and stuff started piling up and all that crazy stuff. But I think I really want to make more time for rereading books because I think it's really important. I think a book is meant to be read more than once, and I think that you can pick up a lot of different things when you read a book more than once. Particularly with fantasy series and series that have a lot of little clues hidden in between the books, I feel like I don't always pick up on those the first time I read it. So when I do reread a book, I think it's interesting what I picked up on the second time around that I didn't the first, and it always is like, oh, and it comes full circle and I have this epiphany moment. It's great. Rereading books in a series can also really help you a lot if there is a new release in that series. Cassandra Clare usually has a 1 or 2 year gap between her books, so I would often reread a lot of the series before her new book came out because I had just forgotten so much of what happened, and it's a good way to refresh your memory on what's happening so you can really get the full effect of the new release when it does come out. I think everyone has different times when they reread, but I usually will not reread a book until 1 or 2 years after I've read it originally. I think that that's enough time where I've forgotten what happens a little bit, so it's kind of still a fresh read for me and not too much like I'm just rereading the whole same story again and everything's really predictable. So I would say 1 to 2 years is a good period of time to wait before rereading a book, but obviously some people will read a book for the first time and then reread it a bunch of times, which I think is also great too, but personally I will not reread a book until 1 or 2 years after I have read it for the first time. But I really miss rereading books, and I think that by making this video I am going to make a challenge to reread more books. So without further ado, I'm going to get into all of the books that I plan on rereading within the next 1 to 2 years. I say 1 to 2 years because there are so many new releases that I do want to read, and I'm trying to focus in 2016 on reading more new releases. I think that 2 years is a good amount of time to reread books, maybe, one every couple of months. So this is going to be my rereads list for 2016/2017. The first series that I want to reread in the years 2016 and 2017, I'm sure you can guess by the big gaping hole on my shelf, but that is the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. I always see these booktubers holding all of these books in their videos and they make it look so easy, but it's really not. After reading City of Heavenly Fire, I realized how much I missed the series and all of the characters. It's probably been 3 or 4 years since I've reread City of Bones, so I think it's definitely the perfect time to reread the series slowly at my own pace, where I can really just take the time to enjoy all of the books again. The next series that I want to reread is also a Cassandra Clare series, and that is the Infernal Devices series. I don't think that I spent enough time thoroughly reading these when I first got them. I think that I flipped through them all a little too fast and I missed a lot of the stuff that they were talking about in City of Heavenly Fire and all the connections that people were drawing from these. So I'd really want to reread these books again and really take the time to pay attention because they're very intricate, and the world that is written and a lot of the characters do pop up in other stories, especially in the Band Chronicles. I hear there's a lot of Herondale sort of stuff, so I really want to reread these books and really just take the time, pay attention to everything that's going on. The next book that I want to reread is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I first read this book before my senior year of high school while I was on vacation. It's been a while, and now it's my freshman year of college, much like it was Kath's freshman year of college in her book. And I feel like I really relate to Kath's experience with college, and I think that it would be a perfect time to reread this just because college has been kind of a roller coaster for me, much like it was for Kath, and I think it's a perfect time to read it, and I think I'll get a lot more out of the book now that I am a freshman in college like Kath, and I can really connect to her character more than when I was a senior in high school. I also really want to reread The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. This is a classic, and it was pretty much one of the only books that I really enjoyed reading in high school. I really like John Steinbeck's writing style. If you haven't picked him up, I would start with Of Mice and Men because it's really short, and Grapes of Wrath is one of his other more popular books. The parallel structure in this book is really symbolic, and it's beautifully written and heartbreaking in the tale of this story where, this family is forced to migrate from their home and they have literally nothing, and they're chasing this American dream that ultimately just can never be achieved. But if you're really looking to read a good classic, I definitely recommend this novel just because of the way it's written is so fantastic. I think I read this my junior year of high school, so again, it's been 2 years, perfect time to reread it. I'm really excited to reread this novel and read more John Steinbeck works. And the last series that I plan on reading is the Stephanie Perkins series of Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door, and Isla and the Happily Ever After. I don't have these books in physical form. I read them all on e-reader, but I think I might pick them up in physical form. I really just feel like these books are really fun, and I've read Anna and the French Kiss a bunch of times, but the books are just really, they're romance, but it's a little more than that. It's about learning where your place is in the world and who you are, and I think when you're growing up and you're in college, sometimes you need to be reminded of that, and even when you're in high school, like finding who you are is such a powerful thing. If there's romance, even better, but I think Stephanie Perkins' books really come through self-discovery in a really beautiful way, and I'm really excited to reread that series. So those are all the books that I plan on reading in the next 2-ish years. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe down below if you haven't already. I have social media accounts now. I will list them at the end of this video and down in the down bar if you would really love to go check me out, and I will be tweeting, Instagramming, and good reading all of the books that I read on a weekly to daily basis. So please go check that out. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I will see you next week. Bye guys.